Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. So today we're actually in Mount Komorebi, which is a world that I actually haven't built in a very long time, I think. So yeah, we're in Mount Komorebi. We're actually building for my save file again. This is for the Nishidake. I'm going to mispronounce all of these Sims' names. I do apologize. I'm not the best at pronouncing names, and with my accent as well, it just makes it like doubly worse. So yeah, apologies if I mispronounce any of their names. I probably am going to. But yeah, we're building for the Nishidake family, who's a family of 3 Sims. It's actually a grandpa, a grandma, and their granddaughter. So we have Shigeru and Sachiko, I don't know, Sachiko and their granddaughter Kaori, who's a teenager who's actually living with her grandparents. And in the original EA game, they obviously don't have like a deceased Sim like son or daughter or anything like that that would have been Kaori's parents. But for my save file, I did actually go in and create their son, Asahi, and his wife, Yue. And then I basically just unalived them. I cheated to unalive them so that Kaori can have their tombstones and so that they're also like in the family tree. But yeah, I figured maybe they got into a big like mountain climbing accident or something like that. Maybe they were really big into the outdoors as well, because Kaori is actually really into like mountain climbing and snowboarding. I don't think she's into skiing. I think she's specifically into snowboarding. And then the grandma, Sachiko, I'm saying her name so wrong. But I believe she's also really into like not snowboarding, skiing. She's really into skiing. But yeah, there's a whole story with these Sims, with Shigeru being kind of like a, I don't know what you would call it, but basically he's like a caretaker of a lot of the older traditions of Mount Komorebi, and he kind of clashes with one of the other families in town, the more richer like celebrity family that live on the big, I believe it's like a 50 by 50 lot in the bottom right hand corner of the map. I can't remember their name at the moment, which is bad. I think it's like the Ito family, I believe. But yeah, basically they have this kind of like family feud going on, and it's a very like, you know, it's very much like the grandpa is very set in like the traditional stuff, whereas the Ito family is a little bit more modern, and I guess they kind of don't match what like Shigeru kind of believes in, I guess you could say, or the values that he has for like their traditions and stuff like that, which is kind of hard to like, you know, live with, because his granddaughter Kaori is actually kind of, I believe in my save I made sure that they were in a actual like relationship, like they were actually dating. But she's actually dating the son of the Ito family, whose name, again, I cannot remember for the life of me. So yeah, I do apologize for that. I'm recording this really late. It's almost 11 p.m, which I haven't recorded a voiceover this late in quite a while. I've kind of been fixing my sleep schedule a little bit, so I've been doing most of my work during the day these days. I'll do like the recording maybe at night, but it's usually earlier. But yeah, I just got home from like a family gathering thing, and I really need to get this voiceover done. So yeah, we're doing it now because I don't think I'll have time on Wednesday or Thursday. So yeah, we're doing this on Tuesday night, by the way. But yeah, so that's basically this family. You guys will see that I changed my mind with this build quite a bit, because I was looking at a couple of reference pictures. Obviously, I tried to make it as like, I don't want to say like I don't know, not traditional, but it's not technically like, I don't know if it's super close to what an actual Japanese house would look like, because I have never been in one. I have never even seen one in real life. So all of my ideas and like all of the things that I do, they all come from reference images, from stuff like that. So if I get something wrong, please feel free to point it out because I love knowing stuff like this. I remember when Snowy Escape first came out, I spent literal days, like actual days, looking up inspiration pictures. I spent days like reading articles and like basically studying up on Japanese and Asian design and like, you know, what a traditional house would look like, you know, stuff like having the little like front entryway, which the name of which I physically cannot remember right now. I don't know, it's not an onsen, it's a, honestly I can't remember. I'm really bad at remembering stuff like this off the top of my head. I know what it's called, but I can't remember the name of it. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I just can't get it out. But basically they all have these like, it's traditional to have this like entryway that's maybe either a little bit lower, set down from the rest of the house or stuff like that, and it's usually like tile or stone or something where you would take off your shoes. So I did make sure to have that. They usually have like separate rooms, so like the bathrooms. I actually did keep both of them in the footage, but there's 2 bathrooms and both of them have the toilets separate. So basically you come in and you have the room where like the sink is and the shower and the bathtub and all of that stuff. And then there's a separate door that you go through to actually get to the toilet, which you will see right now as we're working on it. So this bigger bathroom that I have at the back, the one that's actually connected to the hallway, that's basically kind of like the, you know, either shared bathroom for guests or basically Kaori, it's probably the one that she uses. And then the grandparents actually have their own little small bathroom connected to their bedroom. So they only have a shower, whereas this one also has a tub. So yeah, I just thought I should point that out. That's kind of just how the floor plan worked out. It was a really big pain to get this floor plan like to work, by the way, because I knew I wanted the bathrooms obviously to have this like separate space for the toilet, and I needed to have 2 bedrooms, but I didn't want to make the build too big because I did want a fairly nice sized backyard, and also because these houses usually don't tend to be super big. It's just not a thing that like usually happens. So yeah, I was looking at a couple of reference pictures like I said, but honestly I couldn't find one that like really looked the way that I was picturing it in my head. So at the end of the day, I literally just went in and I winged it. So if I did mess up something that's like, oh no, like if you've ever been to Japan or you are Japanese and you live in houses like this, or like similar to the ones that are in Mount Komorebi, and you're knowledgeable about that stuff and you see something and you're like, oh no, this would never actually happen, feel free to point it out because I would love to know. Because yeah, like I said, I love learning about this stuff. Just with this build, I didn't have the mental energy to go back and like research all of that stuff because I've forgotten a lot of it. But yeah, I tried to make it as accurate as I could, you know, from what I did remember. So yeah, if you notice something, like I said, feel free to point it out. Something else that I do want to mention is the fact that in both of the bathrooms, I do have laundry hampers from the Laundry Day pack, but I completely forgot to put in a washer and a dryer. So there's literally no place for your Sims to do laundry in this build. So before I upload it to the gallery, I will go back in and delete those. I have already done it. I basically you'll see it in the speed build, you'll see them, you'll see the like real laundry hampers in the speed build, but in the tour at the end as well as on the gallery, they won't be there. I kind of just went in and replaced them with those like decorative ones from the base game. But you could easily put them back and then find a space for the like laundry in the house. I'm sure you could find somewhere to put it in. This kitchen, for example, is quite big, so you could delete maybe one of the counters, move some stuff around if you wanted to, or you could, I don't know, maybe put it outside. I did put a little like almost greenhousey type space in the back of the build. There's kind of like this little extension that has all of those greenhouse kit windows on the portion that looks into the actual yard, because I wanted like a little greenhouse space, but I didn't want the entire thing to be surrounded by glass walls basically from those windows, because I wanted it to still be private. So basically all of the kind of like interior walls, the walls that look into their private garden, all of those walls are the big glass ones from that kit, whereas the other windows are just smaller ones from the Snowy Escape pack. And then there's no like glass roof or anything like that, because it just honestly it didn't fit with the style of the house. But there is a little greenhouse area where I figured, you know, the grandpa Shigeru is actually really into gardening. So I did put in a couple of gardening things for him. The grandma is actually really into flower arranging as well. So I did put in a flower arranging table. I put in a woodworking table as well. So yeah, there's a couple of activities in that room. It's kind of like a garage without being a garage, if that makes sense. But if you wanted to, you could easily put a laundry machine in there and like have it be completely functional. I'm also toying around with the idea of maybe making like a laundromat kind of space in like a community lot. I have this idea in my head for like a row of shops kind of thing, and then having like a cafe one, a laundromat, maybe a little restaurant and a bar and like a karaoke bar, stuff like that, all on one lot, and having them kind of be like, you know, separate businesses, like separate buildings, but all like connected, kind of like row houses type things, because I see that a lot in everything that I look up about, you know, Japanese architecture and cities and stuff like that. Everything's like usually very close together. So I was thinking about doing something like that at some point. So I don't know if that would be functional in the game, if your Sims could like pick up their laundry, put them in their inventory, go do it on another lot, and then bring it back home. I think you should be able to, because they can't put laundry in their inventory. So yeah, in theory it should work, but honestly I'm not so bothered about it actually functioning that way, because there's going to be a lot of other stuff on that lot as well that would be like, I guess, more functional. The laundromat thing is kind of just like a fun thing to add, because I don't ever build stuff like that. But yeah, we'll see. That's, you know, that's way down the line when I have the kind of like inspiration for that, basically, because I'm very much a like mood builder. So like, even though I have a list of builds that I need to do, that like I still need to do for my save file, basically, that I need to prioritize technically for my save to get the second version out, and builds that I have started that are like half finished that I need to go back and finish. Even though I have those lists, I tend to usually just build whatever I feel like building in the moment, which is actually a pain if you do YouTube, because if you're like me and you get bored of stuff very, very quickly, like I'll start a build, do the exterior, and then get bored of it and never do the interior for like months, then it's kind of annoying, because I have all of these builds that are like half finished that I just never finish, because I never have that like burst of inspiration to go back to them. So yeah, that's kind of annoying. But yeah, so basically that laundromat idea is just like very, very far in the future, maybe someday when I feel like it, because builds like that are so detailed and that have so much like going on, they're always really intimidating, because I know for a fact that it's going to take me ages and ages to do, which means I'm going to end up with like hours and hours of footage, which translates into a lot of editing work for me, which, if you know me, if you've been around for a while, editing is literally my least favorite part of making YouTube videos. Like, I absolutely love voiceovers, I love recording, I love building, but the editing is a pain. But yeah, anyway, moving on from that, we've actually moved on to the living room. You guys will have already seen me do the kitchen, the kind of like little dining room area that's kind of like in the center of the house. I have a couple of tatami mats laid out on the floor with a kotatsu table. We have all tatami matting in the like living room space as well. There's a couple of really nice, comfortable looking couches. I loved using those, like that like book nook couch, the 2-seater one. I loved how it worked in this build. It's fit in with the style so well, and it really matches the couch from Snowy Escape, so I absolutely love that. So yeah, we have a couple of really comfortable couches, some bookcases. There's no TV in this room at all. I do have quite a few speakers, like Alexa's and that little round speaker from Growing Together. I have a few of them scattered like around the build. So in my head, you know, maybe the grandparents, they don't really like watching TV. They like listening to music. So they have, like I said, quite a few like stereos and stuff like that scattered around. But they don't really like watching TV. So there's no TV in this living room. There's just fireplace. There's, you know, bookcases, stuff like that. I also have a little tea set on the kotatsu table. That tea set is actually from the Wedding Stories pack, so your Sims can actually serve tea and be like, it has like this whole animation, like, you know, I guess not storytelling, but like animation, traditional like ceremony type thing related to it, especially for weddings as well. So yeah, I did want to include that. And then upstairs, we obviously have the 2 bedrooms. We're working on the kind of like main bedroom, I guess you could say, the grandparents' bedroom right now. They have their own desk, obviously, because Sachiko, I believe, is actually kind of into writing. So I did want to make sure that she did have a desk and that she can do writing, stuff like that. So yeah, the whole house is kind of very, I don't want to say plain, but it's not as cluttered as I would usually make my houses. So the house itself, the most cluttered room is probably the kitchen, if I'm being honest, and that's mostly only all of those like shelves that I put at the top. So those are all cluttered, but the rest of the house is fairly minimally cluttered and like decorated and stuff. I tried to keep that in mind because I know that, you know, traditionally these kinds of homes, they don't tend to be like super like clutter and stuff everywhere, if that makes sense. So yeah, I try to keep that in mind. The whole house is fairly like neutral as well. There's a lot of white, a lot of beige, brown, warm tones. That's just the vibe that I figured that the grandparents would have. That's just their style. But then we move on to the teenager's room, Kaori's room, and it's like the total opposite. It's super cluttered, super messy, really, really colorful. There's like a lot of blue and pink and purple, and it's very much a like young person's room, if that makes sense. So I also put in a TV in her bedroom because I figured, you know, she would probably have a TV. She likes gaming as well, so I did give her a games console. She has her own little desk with her own like tablet, a laptop type setup thing, the one that came from the, I think it's the Pastel Pop kit. It came with that kind of like, it's almost like an iPad, but you have a keyboard for it, so it's kind of like set up that way. So yeah, she has that on her desk. She has a little TV, obviously a dresser, a big bed that's like pushed up against the wall, and yeah, just a bunch of colorful furniture. I figured, you know, maybe when her parents passed, she kind of like moved in with her grandparents and maybe brought a lot of her stuff with her. So this furniture probably isn't stuff that, you know, her grandparents would have like usually had in their bedroom or like in their spare bedroom, but she kind of like brought all of her colorful stuff from her old house, if that makes sense. So yeah, we do have that. And then in the backyard we have a little grill, we have a little picnic table, you know, some chairs, we have that little kind of almost zen garden thing going on as well that doesn't really serve a purpose apart from the fact that I love the way it looks. So yeah, that's there. And then I also have this kind of like, it's not really a gazebo because it's a wooden thing, but it's kind of like a wooden gazebo type space that actually is a debug item from Snowy Escape. That's usually a little bit smaller. You guys will see later on that I size it up quite a bit. And then I actually put like couches and stuff and a little fireplace inside of it. I do believe it's functional. I haven't playtested it yet. I did playtest the rest of the house though. Your Sims can get everywhere and use everything. I just didn't think to playtest that. But honestly, it's not the end of the world if it doesn't function. There's not like interesting or important stuff in it. There's literally just an outdoor fireplace, a chair, and a couch. Like, it's not a super like, you know, this is where your Sims are supposed to eat kind of space. So yeah, that's not really super like important, but I just, again, I love the way it looked. And then in the front of the house, we don't really have a lot going on. We have a little patio area with some plants on it, nothing much. And then underneath that big red tree that I have in the front yard, I also put down a games table. I put down the one from the little campus kit, the one that looks like it's made out of like painted wooden boards. And then I have 2 chairs on that because I figured, you know, I didn't think it would be like for a big group to play stuff. I figured maybe the grandpa or the grandma likes playing like symbols or stuff like that with one of their friends. So they're like sitting outside playing like symbols or maybe cards or something with one of their friends and like, or like one of their neighbors or something. So yeah, I just have that out there because I don't know, I like the way it looked. And that is basically the entire build. So yeah, because I do have a couple of other things that I want to talk about, I just want to tell you guys that this build is up on the gallery. It's completely custom content free. It turned out to be around 99-ish thousand simoleons, so it's not cheap or anything. It's also not pack restricted at all because it's for my save file. But yeah, it is up on the gallery, completely custom content free. The gallery link as well as my gallery ID, hashtags, all of that stuff is in the description as always. And then the tray files are also up for channel members, and then tray files will be going up in 3 weeks for everyone on my Tumblr. But yeah, that is basically everything about this build, you guys, because for the rest of the video I'm going to be rambling a little bit about the really exciting announcement that we just got. So today, obviously I'm recording this on Tuesday, but we just got the roadmap for the next 3 months. For The Sims, we have like from like July until September, I think, and they said we are getting like an expansion pack, 2 kits, a behind the Sims summit like live stream thing, and more stuff. And the expansion pack is already coming out, like the trailer for it, like the announcement trailer, like stuff, like the first trailer for it is coming out on Thursday. So you guys are seeing this after Thursday. So obviously I will have already done a, like, I don't know if this video is going up on Friday or on Sunday, we'll have to see, but you're seeing it after Thursday basically. And on Thursday I will have already done a trailer reaction, which means I have already announced this, so you know it, and the Sims have already announced it as well. But we're getting the Sims 4 Horse Ranch pack. I can't say that for some reason. The Horse Ranch pack, which is basically like a cowboy, like basically almost like Wild West, like think American Wild West. And it's horses and goats and sheep and all of that stuff. It's really, really cool. But basically, the reason I'm talking about this now, before we've even seen the trailer, I haven't seen the trailer. By the way, I have no idea what the trailer is going to be like on Thursday, which again, I will have done a trailer reaction. So I will leave a link to that in the description and on the screen. Go and check it out. But basically, the only reason I know about any of this stuff already is because I know this stuff has leaked on Twitter. I haven't really read any of it because I didn't want to, and I didn't want to like engage with any of the leaks or the speculation on Twitter either, because I've known about this for a while. But I actually got the opportunity to build for this pack. I got to build a couple of lots for this pack. I am so beyond excited, you guys. Like, you have no idea. Like, I am freaking the hell out. And I got to work with some incredible sim gurus. I also got to work with some incredible fellow game changers. But basically it was me, Dr. Ashley, Simproved, and Ninster or Ninny. And the 4 of us actually built all of the lots for this pack. And you guys, I am beyond excited to tell you guys more about it. I can't do that yet, but as soon as I can, I will tell you more about this. I'll tell you more about the process of it and show you the builds eventually. But yeah, I am freaking out. I really, really hope you guys like this pack. I am a total horse girl myself. Like, I'll probably show a couple of pictures in my trailer reaction of me like on horseback, because I used to do horse riding when I was younger. So yeah, I have a couple of pictures of that. I haven't been on a horse in years, but I did do a lot of horse riding. I almost started competing before we had to move and all of that stuff. So yeah, I was really, really into horses. I still am. So yeah, getting to work on a pack like this, even though it's a like pack style that I have no first-hand experience with, just the fact that it's about horses, I am like, yes, sign me up. So yeah, I am so excited for that pack, you guys. I cannot wait to share more info about it with you guys. But yeah, I wanted to mention it in this pack. Let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about the trailer, because obviously I assume at this point all of you have seen it. But yeah, let me know what you think about the trailer. Let me know what you think about what we know about the pack already. Like I said, I will be doing more videos on it. I will be taking you guys through the process and all of that stuff, telling you more about it as soon as I can. Obviously, I am still under embargo for stuff like that. But yeah, as soon as I can tell you more about it, I will. But yeah, I'm really, really excited, you guys. Like, you have no idea. I have been keeping this secret for months, and it's been killing me. I've just been wanting to tell you all about it, but I can't yet. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. But yeah, we're almost at the end of the build, you guys. We're just going to be finishing up the little backyard. Like you could see, I did already do that little like wooden gazebo type space, which I actually really, really like. Like I said, I don't know if it's functional completely, but it's honestly, that is the least of my worries with this build. Like, I'm not super worried about if that's not functional. I really love the way it looked, and I wanted to do something like it because, yeah, honestly, a lot of my builds, I do playtest my builds because I want them to be functional, obviously, but a lot of stuff like that, where it's just like, there's some functional stuff in it, obviously, but it's not a like integral part of like gameplay. So it's not like I have the grill in there, so if you can't access it, then you can't use the grill, for example. Or like, it's not like I have the picnic table in there where, you know, you might not be able to eat outside if it doesn't work. It's literally just some couches. Like, it's not the end of the world. I love doing stuff like that. So like I said, most of my builds, like, everything is functional, but there are definitely going to be a few things here and there where it's like, I kind of sacrificed functionality or like potential functionality for purely the sake that, you know, it looks cool and I like it. So yeah, hope you guys don't mind that. But if you do want to change it up, obviously feel free to do that. I definitely won't mind. Like, you know, feel free to change up the interior, the exterior, anything you want about any of my builds. Like, obviously customize it to fit the family that you have, or, you know, the gameplay that you're doing, or anything like that. You know, totally feel free to go wild, basically, but just don't re-upload it and say that it's yours. That's kind of like my only thing. Like, don't re-upload my stuff. But other than that, for your own gameplay, go mad. Like, change whatever you want, or put this wherever you want. If you want to put this in Salvadorada, put it in Salvadorada. Like, that's totally up to you guys. But yeah, like I said, it is for my save, so it will be eventually like in my save file, or like in the second version of my save file, basically, once I get around to doing that. Because I honestly, the past couple of months have been like, I knew the first half of the year was going to be busy because of all of the other stuff that I, like, Sims stuff that I had going on, but I didn't expect the universe to throw as big a curveball my way as it did in May with my mom, and all of that stuff combined with this past 2 weeks. My nephew got injured, he broke his wrist, so he was here for like 2 weeks, where basically he stayed with us. We had to take care of him. It was a really big thing. His girlfriend flew down, and basically I've had people around me all of the time. I've had to constantly be on the go, doing stuff, going places, and if you know me, that's totally not me. Like, I don't like being that busy. So yeah, basically it's just the past couple of months have been a roller coaster and super, super hectic. So I haven't been able to focus as much on my channel or save file as I would have liked. But hopefully the next couple of months will be a little bit better. Probably not, but anyway, moving on to the tour. Okay, so here we are in the game. Sorry that voiceover got so off track over there at the end of it. I just want to say that, as I was trying to say at the end of the voiceover, I am working on the second version of my save. It's just obviously taking me a lot longer than I thought it would, just because of everything that's like kind of come up, all of the unexpected things that have come up that obviously has had to take precedence a little bit above like Sims stuff. So yeah, just a little heads up basically. But yeah, and apologies for that as well. I don't know why I'm apologizing. I probably don't need to, but I am anyway. But yeah, moving on. Basically, second version of my save will be out at some point. Don't know when, but it's coming. There's a lot going on right now, but I'll update you guys about that later at some point. But yeah, so back to this build. So yeah, this is the finished product. This is where it's also placed. It's in the Senbamachi, I believe, the neighborhood. Basically, it's kind of like a town neighborhood area. That's where that little, like, I can't say the name, but kind of like the bar karaoke space is. There's a park over there, you know, stuff like that. This is where it's placed. We have the little front porch area. Here's the two grandparents. I did give them a little bit of a makeover as well for my save file, so if you notice that they look a little bit different, it's because they do. I did give them makeovers. But yeah, so over here we have that little games table. We have one little flower like planter box in the front, and then we have obviously their little porch area. I have some lanterns over here. Off to the side I just put some debug like mailbox type things just for the aesthetic of it. But yeah, so moving in, we have the little like entryway. I still cannot remember the name of it, which is really irritating me, by the way, because I know as soon as I stop recording, I'm going to remember the name. But yeah, we have the little entryway where you can sit, take off your shoes, you know, all of that stuff. I have the little umbrella thing over there. That board, your Sims can actually click on it, and then you can set it to be like, you know, you can wear shoes in the house, or like wear slippers, or don't wear shoes, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, we have that, and then you go through the sliding doors into kind of like the dining space, basically, where we have the kotatsu table, some seating, you know, some storage. We have a couple of bookshelves over here as well that I did use. I did use some things from the Book Nook kit, but I also combined it with some of the shelves from Dream Home Decorator, and then obviously just cluttered it up a little bit to make it look a little bit more full. Now let's go this way first. So we have a little bonsai tree over here as well, but then through this archway we have the kind of like living room space. We have a little speaker over there. We have another one over here on the bookcase as well. But yeah, we have a little speaker, some couches. The grandma is into knitting, so I did give her a little knitting basket, fireplace, some bookshelves, you know, all of that kind of stuff. I actually love this room so much. It's probably my favorite room in the entire house, especially from like this angle almost, where you can see that couch in particular. I'm obsessed with that couch. But yeah, so you have the little living room, and then going back across the kind of like the dining room space, we have the kitchen, which is actually really big. So we have a fridge, a lot of counter space. I did clutter up a few of the counters, but obviously you can go in and like delete some stuff. There's two completely open counters as well. And then I have this little like console table in the middle with the bin underneath. Now this bin probably does not work because it's underneath the table, but just to make up for that, I did put one right out back, like right outside the back door by the like grill. There's another one, so it's not like your Sims have to walk all the way around to the front bins. There is one like fairly close to the kitchen. But yeah, we have a little stove. Obviously we have a lot of shelving. I didn't want to do like actual cabinets just because there's not a lot of wall space. So yeah, just the way the windows worked out, and especially because I have this big sliding door over here, like archway technically, the cabinets just took up way too much of the wall space. So I just ended up going with all of these like open shelves from Snowy Escape and then cluttering them up with stuff. So there's a lot of clutter in here. Like I said, it's probably the most cluttered room in the house, apart probably from the teenager's bedroom. But yeah, that is basically the entire first floor from like the interior of the house, I guess you could say. So going up the stairs, we actually have a little landing space with a little chest table in it. And then we have 3 sliding doors, 3 big sliding doors. This first one actually goes into the kind of like, I guess, main guest bathroom, I guess you could say. So we have a little sink area right at the front. And then we have the bath, the shower, all of that stuff. I did put some clutter in here as well because I figured it's the bathroom that the granddaughter probably uses. It's kind of like her bathroom at this point. So there's a lot of her like personal clutter around, like her robe, and maybe she like got a new bath mat, stuff like that. And then through this door is actually where the toilet is. So the toilet is separate. They do actually have a separate sink in this like toilet space as well. So you don't have to go all the way around. So yeah, we have a little sink over there by the toilet. That's kind of like the bigger bathroom. Then we actually have, through these painter doors, we have Kaori's bedroom, and we have Kaori actually in her bedroom. But yeah, so this is the teenager's bedroom. I love the way this turned out. It's super colorful, or like at least compared to the rest of the house. And I love the way it looks. Like, I love all of the clutter and like the messiness of it. So she does have a little desk over here with that thing that I said kind of looks like an iPad with a keyboard connected to it. Some headphones, obviously. She also has a big dresser wardrobe thing with a lot of clutter on top, because I figured, you know, she's probably lived here for quite a while, maybe like a couple of months at this point, maybe almost a year. But she is a teenager, so she probably did not unpack everything. So there's still stuff up here. Maybe she used to have a bigger bedroom. That's why she still has like the big bed. So, you know, she's kind of had to cram all of her stuff into this like smaller room than she was maybe used to. But yeah, so there's a bunch of like messy clutter on the floor. There's like shoes and clothes, and I did put down this bookcase with some clutter on top. She has a chair over here, a little poof as a nightstand, obviously the big bed. Some more clutter on the bed as well. I did playtest the bed, it does work. But yeah, we have some controllers, we have a little TV that doubles as a stereo, obviously, and a bookshelf. But we have the games console as well. Sims can sit on the bed and like play games, by the way. So yeah, that totally works. And then across the hallway, we have the main bedroom, which is the grandparents' bedroom. It's a lot calmer, as you can see, a lot calmer than Kaori's room. A lot more neutral, like the rest of the house. They have their double dresses, obviously, their bed, big windows, a little desk space, because like I said, Sachiko, the grandma, is really into writing, so she can do her writing. And yeah, that is basically their room. I love this little tray from the Book Nook kit that I ended up using. And then through this door is actually where their bathroom is. So we have their little sink, you know, their robes, towels. They only have a shower, by the way. And then they also have a little separate toilet space as well. And like I mentioned in the voiceover, I did place down like real laundry baskets here from like the laundry day pack. But then I remembered that I didn't put in like a washer or dryer. So I replaced them with base game decorative ones. But yeah, so going back downstairs to the backyard, there's actually a sliding door over here. But we obviously also have the back door as well, where we have the grill, the trash can, and then obviously we have this little like outdoor kind of gazebo type space. Like I said, I haven't playtested it, but I love the way it looked, so I couldn't not include it. But yeah, we have this little outdoor space with a little fireplace, some seating, you know, all of that fun stuff, a little patio space, more plants, a little space to have some food outside, a little picnic table, some more seats. We have a little like zen sandstone garden type thing, which I absolutely love. And then we also have this kind of like greenhouse that I mentioned, where we basically have big glass windows on all of the like kind of like interior facing walls, whereas on the outside it's all of these kind of like privacy windows. But yeah, in here we have a little flower arranging table, another bonsai bush, some more plants like wall planters and stuff like that, a handiness table, woodworking table, some decorative potting places as well, which is really nice. And I think my headphones just died on me again. But anyway, moving on. But yeah, so we have that, and that is basically the entire build, you guys. I absolutely love the way it turned out. Here's a little top-down view of it if you wanted to see. I'll put the grid on as well. But yeah, here's a little top-down view of the first floor, the second floor, and that is about it. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this. But yeah, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, give the video a like, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more Sims videos, as well as some really fun horse ranch videos as soon as I can share those. But yeah, I hope you're all having a great day and a great week or weekend so far, and I'll talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone!